Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be able to join you.
All right, great. It's been 25 years of uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria. I would like to start by asking, where were you in 1993? What memories come to mind? And how do you feel on a special day like this that we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of democratic rule in Nigeria?
First of all, it's important that we be precise with definitions. There's a lot of controversy over what democracy is these days around the world, not just in our country. But civilian rule, yes, we have had 25 years of uninterrupted civilian rule in Nigeria. But regarding June 12th, wow, it's quite a question to ask somebody like me. Many people, when they think of June 12, 1993, think of people like me, because in many ways, except for a young generation that was not born back then, many ways people like me symbolize June 12. Well, first of all, on the 12th of June in 1993, I was living in Victoria Island on Bishop Aboyade Cole, just close to where the KPMG head office is today, almost opposite it. 850 Bishop Aboyade Cole was where I lived in 1993. I went down the street close to where the ExxonMobil building is. There's a primary school just opposite ExxonMobil. That's where I voted. Having voted in the famous option A4, I was obviously in the middle of so many things, given that first of all, the chief of the Electoral Commission at that time, Professor Humphrey Mosu, was my teacher, and I was quite friendly with him. I was in the first class of public administration, he taught at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka in 1973. He'd just come back from his PhD, and I was fortunate to register for that class. And so I followed him keenly, personally. And when he brought out the option A4, there were all kinds of naysayers and all kinds of perspectives, where it turned out to be a brilliant cut. So on that day, I voted and returned. Oh, well, first of all, we all stood on the queue. They counted. We knew what the outcome was, and we were all able to send the exact tally from our polling booths. So by that evening, we knew who won the election. We knew how everything went. As you suggested in your introduction, very, very free and fair election. Before I left 2 days after the election, the results had not been announced. People were in suspense, wondering why, because it would have been possible to announce the results that night if they wanted to. I left to come to the United States for a convention. Incidentally, Kola Abiola was traveling that same night. We met at the airport. He was flying to London. I was flying to New York. And I was in the US when the annulment was announced, and I was full of anger that all the effort of the Nigerian people would be brought to that. I withdrew from the convention floor of the World Convention of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship, which was at the Marriott in Boston, and went back to my room and immediately typed an opinion piece that was titled, "We Must Say Never Again." And I faxed that to The Guardian. The Guardian published the piece. By the way, there were no emails in those days, so I sent it by fax. And then the piece aroused a lot of passion in Nigeria, people who were very upset and were writing back. So what should we do? I then had to write a follow-up piece. That follow-up piece, I invited two friends of mine, Atedo Peterside and Sam Oni, to co-sign with me. And that resulted in the founding of what came to be known as the concerned professionals. My thesis, my argument was that professionals cannot pretend that this is a problem of politicians. Freedom must be defended. If people don't realize that freedom is high value, they will lose that freedom. And that's the case today. And so people rallied around those ideas that I raised. We called a meeting at the engineering auditorium, engineering close in VI. It was full of professional people, chief executives of companies, all kinds. And that became how the concerned professionals got entangled in struggle for democracy. Many of us were exposed to all kinds of challenges in the struggle. I was then, by the way, chief executive, if you will, of one of the biggest manufacturing companies in the country. But I did not think of who I was. I marched on the streets of Lagos in protest, led protest, had the butt of police batons on my body a couple of times in front of Western House at St. Peter's Ayodele, and my glasses, flew into the air and was on its way. But that was part of our struggle to ensure that the next generation would have democracy. So this is my recollection of June 12. I, by the way, suffered 2 assassination attempts from state terror. The government of the day had assassins that killed people like Kudirat Abiola and tried to kill people like myself before God's special intervention led to my actually leaving the country, not realizing they were trying to assassinate me. And stories, history today.